This is another tutorial on how to do a 3D mock-up of your packaging. I've done a couple of them. They are on YouTube already, but apparently I didn't hit all the points, and I've gotten emails. So let me just make another demo here, another tutorial. Here are Belvita. This is the front that I did with the class. This is my design of redesign of Belvita. I am in Adobe Illustrator right now. What I did is I copied this from where I was working on it to this document. This is a new document. If you see, it's about 10 inches by 8.5. Make whatever fits your particular principal display panel. Okay, mine is fairly small, so this fits. Okay, so here we go. This is the front, this is the top, which you have to make, and this is the side. Now the top doesn't really require a whole lot. It's one of the least important panels on your carton, for better or worse, beside the bottom, I guess. So put what you want on it. Flat color. I think it's a good idea to repeat the product, breakfast biscuits and Belvita. I just think that's a good marketing idea. Okay, so this side panel, I need to have nutrition facts in here, and some of you asked how to do that again, and I'll show you. But lastly, remember that the top panel lines up here with the actual PDP. And the side panel from here to here, the height, also lines up with this panel. Okay, it seems fairly obvious, but I notice some of you are not doing that. So please remember that. Make sure this is the same width and the same height. Okay, let's go to generating that label. You don't have to make the nutrition label. Just go to onlinelabels.com. All right, and I've already done one. So what you do is step one, you select new. You choose a nutrition label format. I picked the middle one. If you have a very horizontal, say, I'm not even quite sure what it would be, but something that's maybe thin, you might want to use this long label, okay? Then, step three is you fill out the following information. Don't go too crazy with this. Just hit some approximate ideas of what is the servings per container. I just guessed at 10, quantity 10, serving size 100 grams, 250 calories. And then I put in some of this information here too. And then you click generate. All right. This onlinelabels.com may ask you to subscribe to this. So you might have to give them at this point your email. I don't think it's a big deal. If you don't want to do it, well, you're going to have to figure out another way to do this. But I am subscribed to them. They are a company. They do sell labels, okay? Now this is what I got. Nutrition facts, calories 250. So you generate this. This makes it for you, serving size and all that. So let's download the image. And there we go. And there it is. And it is in Photoshop. So let's do File, Save As. And let's save it as a PNG, a ping. And I'm going to put it on my desktop. Now, when it's a PNG, that means, see this, all these squares in the background? That means it's transparent. So if you had a color on your carton, on this panel, it would show through. It would be okay. If you want white, then you can just do, say, a JPEG. A JPEG will just flatten it, and it will be white. And I'm trying to think of, for mine, what I want. I think the ping is fine. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do save. Okay, and then okay. Let's click this away, and then I need to find it. Here it is on my desktop. Make sure you have a folder so you can put all this stuff in it. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Click. All right, let's get this going here. All right, so let's bring the nutrition label in. Let's see if I can just click on it and drop it in and see what happens. That works. That works. So, okay, let's take a corner, make it smaller. Oops, it's distorting a little bit, so we got to watch that. What you should do is hold the Shift key and then click on this corner and make it smaller. There we go. Still needs to be a little smaller. Looks pretty good. It looks kind of fuzzy. Let's see if that's really there. No, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Another way to do it is probably a better way to do it would be to, let's see if there is a difference. Let's do that right now. Nutrition label. Let's put this on again. Oop. Didn't want to do it for some reason. Okay. Let's go up to Object, Transform, Scale. Now, sometimes you really have to do it this way because you need scale corners, strokes, and effects. This is really important. So let's do it. I'm going to guess that it needs to be about 30% of original. Okay, so let's do okay. Even more so. Okay, let's do Object, Transform, Scale, 30% again. This looks like it's getting too small. Let's put in 70% and see what it's like. Now, is there any difference between the two? I would say not a lot, but I can tell this is kind of squished up here when I did this. So let's go with the good one. Let's go with this. I need to adjust the size just a little bit, and well, actually probably not. It probably will fit. Let me use the mover keys. And let's do Command minus. Let's see what it looks like. I can leave it like that. That's fine. And that's a side panel too. Okay. So now what we need to do is we got that all done. We need to open a Photoshop. This is done in Photoshop, the final 3D. So let's open up a document in Photoshop. Command N for new. Let's see, my final, let's do 10 by 10 inches. It's going to be fairly square, so let's do 10 by 10. CMYK color, is it going to be printed? No. Let's go to RGB. RGB is more appropriate for what we're doing right now. CMYK would be for print. All right. Resolution 300, that's good. Name is Velveeta 3D Mockup. Okay. Okay, now let's go. Here we're going to click on this. Let's make this smaller. What we want to do is get a marquee over everything. Okay, let's make sure we are in the right tool. We are not. I need to be in the selection tool. Let's do Command Copy, Command C, and let's go to Photoshop, Command V. In the wrong tool, Command V. I import as pixels. Smart Object is something I don't want to get into that entirely, but Smart Object would require you to have it stored somewhere and then it references the object. Pixels is fine. Okay. And there it is. I'm going to move it over here because the side's going to be here and the top's going to be here. Let's do the side. Command C. Command V. It's pixels. Okay. All right, there we are. And how about the top? Command C, Command V. It helps if you've grouped all of this in advance. Oops, come on. V, pixels. Okay, and then there we go. All right. So basically what we have here, but this is in Illustrator, so we don't need this right now. Okay. Now, let's start putting this together. Now, we're not doing formal perspective. However, we are doing what is basically called two-point perspective. There's a point out here, point out here. I don't know if you can see that, point out here, point out there. Anyway, this needs to be turned just a little bit. So let's click on this. We're in Photoshop here. File, Edit, go to Edit, Transform, and let's try Distort. Okay? Now, let's go up to this and lift it up a little bit. And lift this up a little bit. Okay. Try to keep this line here parallel with this. Try to keep it straight. These lines stay straight. These lines will be bent just a little bit. Okay. Now let's get layers. Let's see so we can see what we're doing. All right. See all the different layers. This is the front, side, and then the top. Okay, the background is just white. All right. So let's click off here. Let's do the top. That would be this one up here. Click on it. In Photoshop, you have to know what layer you're in. Otherwise, yeah, it's just not going to go anywhere. You need to know. Layers are really important in Photoshop. Okay, so let's bring this down. Let's go to Edit, Transform, and let's go to Distort. Click on that corner, and I want to touch it. And this I need to bring up a little bit. That's about right. Okay, it all needs to go down a little bit. Okay, so let's click off of that, and I'm going to go over all three parts and bring it down lower. That's good. Okay, this isn't done yet. But let's just leave it here just for a second. Let's do the side panel now. Click on the side panel. That's layer 2. All right. Also go to Edit, Transform, Distort. And we're going to bring this point there, right here. And this point is going to be right there. Okay, don't let any little white line go there. Okay, now you're going to have to imagine what the perspective is like. Notice it's going to be a V. This is just a very gentle side of the V. This one is going to be much more going back. So click, and let's make it go back. And this on the top here, let's make it go back. Remember, this side has to be parallel, that side has to be parallel. I see we're off here a little bit. Let's fix that right now. Okay, let's see how this is going. This side looks pretty good. Okay. I'm going to click here and actually pull it in a little bit more. I know this looks really distorted, but if you look at your package and you actually set it up somewhere on the counter or something, this pretty much is what it looks like. Okay, let's click on the mover tool, click off. Let's go to the top now. That's layer 3. Once again, distort. This is pretty easy because we use distort for everything, so it's not that's not that difficult. If you use perspective, you're getting into a whole nother world. So I would avoid that. That is definitely something much more advanced. Okay, see here, we missed this corner here, or I missed it. Let's put this back down right on it, like that. Okay, now this is going to we have to decide how far this should be in there. We have to pretty much just kind of eyeball it and say what looks right. You're not even going to be able to read anything on top. It's going to be so flattened. But that looks pretty good. And also remember, this line is going to be parallel to that line. All right. Okay, let's look at this. That's not bad. There's a little bit of white here. Let's take care of that right now. And we can put a drop shadow on this and wrap it up. Here we go. Let's just do, a little bit of distort. Let's finish this off. I'm going to pull this over here like that. This is off a little bit too. If you work in Photoshop, just imagine you're going to be playing with stuff for a while. To make it look really good, you have to spend time with it. One more. Edit, transform, distort. Okay. I hope that's it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so I see there's a little bit of a problem here. I'm not going to fix that right now. If I was going to send this to a client or for a grade or whatever, yeah, I would fix it. But like I said, doing really good Photoshop takes time. What I want to do is a cast shadow. Now the sun or the light would be coming in and hitting it on the front. So therefore it's throwing the shadow in the back. So let's do that. Let's make a shadow. Let's see. Let's make a shadow out of here, the pen tool. You can do this however you want. There's several ways you can do this, making a geometric shape, whatever. I'm just going to do the pen tool. Make sure you don't have path. You want to have as a shape. This is your colors up here. So stroke, no, I do not want red. And for fill, yes, I want a gray. There we go. Okay? So here we go down here. I am going to do another layer. Let's do a new layer. Okay? And I'm going to call it shadow. All right. It's on top. I'm going to probably have to pull it down here because I don't want the shadow on top. But right now it's okay. So let's go click. Click. I'm just imagining what a shadow would look like underneath here. So I'm basically doing the carton. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And it says it must be rasterized. Okay, rasterize it. Okay, great. Now, Gaussian blur. See, it I was already starting to blur it. That we're at 3.3. There we go. Do about 50. That's about all you need, okay? Now I'm going to click on the shadow and bring it down there. And there we go. All right. Actually, you don't see this that much now either. But this is about as, this is a really good way to make something fairly realistic looking. I think somebody's going to look at this and know it's Photoshop, but there are some other things you can do. The thing is with Photoshop, it's going to always look a little bit too perfect. If you want to round off some corners, put a little ding in it or something like that, that also makes it look a little bit more real. But if you saw this, if a client saw this, they would say, oh, so that's what my product is going to look like on the shelf. And you can say, yeah. So I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else to add. I hope this covers for anything I didn't mention in the other tutorials. And that's it.